your squad. How difficult was it in the end to name the squad with all the couple of injuries and other options that you had available in terms of more numbers?
Yeah, well, it was always going to be difficult no matter what the number was, so whether it was 23, 26, and then you, like you say, you add in the injuries. Unfortunate for Ryan Jack, Kenny McLean, Ollie McBurney, Ollie Burke picked up an injury that put him out as well, so for those lads we thank them for the contribution, and it means that there's a chance for other people in the squad. The extra, I'd more or less sort of settled on a 23 before all those injuries and whatever, and then you get an extra 3 to put in, and it makes it a little bit more, it just takes a little bit more time, but I think I got there in the end, and I'm really happy with the squad I've got and the balance in the squad that I've got as well.
And with some of the younger players coming in, Turnbull, Gilmore, Patterson, is that a case of they're coming in to add to the squad, or is it a case of the experience first and foremost?
No, I think they all add something to the squad. Everyone goes to the training camp in Spain on a level footing. Everyone's there. They've all got their chance to play their way into the team in the Euros.
In terms of some of the guys that missed out, how did you break the news to them, and what was their reaction?
Well, I tend only to work one camp back. So obviously in the March camp, before the March camp, I had 4 or 5 difficult phone calls. Players are left out of that camp. This time was really only two difficult phone calls. Was Andrew Considine and Leon Palmer. Both obviously very disappointed, but we have the opportunity to make changes to the squad all the way up until the night before the day before the first game in the tournament. I've told them all, and it's a message for everybody who maybe thought they had a chance to be involved, is stay fit, because with the COVID situation and injury situation, you never know.
Do you feel the balance is right now in terms of the numbers in each position? Steve, are you happy with that, or is there anything that you would have wanted?
Not happy. I try and make up the squad because I know that I have to work on the training pitch with these lads for a number of weeks and a number of training sessions, which I'm really looking forward to. It's not something that you always get to do in international football. So it's important that the balance of the squad is right for those training sessions as well. I think I've got that. Maybe with the loss of Ryan Jack and Kenny McLean, two key midfield players in the way that we played previously, maybe I'll just have to tweak the shape of the midfield or the way we play from midfield a little bit, which for me as a coach is something I look forward to trying to do.
Talk us through your thought process with the youngsters. I mean, it's an exciting squad at the best of times, but adding that kind of talent to it, what was your thought process behind it?
It's 3 very talented players, 3 places in the squad that you have to fill in the best way possible and try and use as an advantage for the squad and the country moving forward. I think certainly Nathan Patterson and David Turnbull have caught the eye up here in Scotland this year with their performances for Rangers and Celtic. Billy Gilmore's a player that I've known for a long time. I know he's very, very well regarded at Chelsea. It was nice to see him getting a few games recently in the team, and looks as though he's over his injury and looking like his old self. So it's good to get them involved in this as much as possible with the nucleus of the squad, because I think that's important. The camaraderie and the togetherness of the squad was a big part in the qualification. So I've tried to keep that together, and I've added 3 young ones who'll liven it up a little bit. So it's good.
You were loyal to those who got you here in the previous games and whatnot. Does that make the calls, as you mentioned, to Andy and to Liam even tougher? Was there a few sleepless nights?
No, and all the boys, Callum Patterson, Liam Griffiths, Lawrence Shankland, all the boys that have played a part in getting us to the Euros, we thank them for the contribution. We don't forget their contribution. I think if you go back to the Serbia game, the penalty shootout, Lee Griffiths scored 1, Ollie McBurney scored 1, and Kenny McLean scored 1. So the 3 guys have already made a big contribution to the fact that we're even in the tournament.
When you had that list on a bit of paper and you sat back, and was that sort of deep breath and was like, right, that's it, finally done, that's another step forward to this tournament actually starting? What was your emotions when you looked at the list?
Well, it meant I could scrap the previous 249 pieces of paper that I had, and I could finalise on 1, so it was nice to tidy up the room.
Is it a relief as well, really, because everyone's looking at you and everyone's had their own opinions on this one?
I think that's part of That's part and parcel of being an international manager. Everyone's got an opinion on who they want in the squad, who they want in the team. I'm not going to keep everybody happy, but ultimately I think I've kept myself happy because I'm really pleased with the squad that I've got.
In a sense, is this maybe one of the toughest squads you've ever had to choose because it is going to the Euros and it's been so long since we've been at a major tour that probably more people are focused on who you're choosing and who you're not because of the magnitude of the games?
Yeah, possibly, but that's a credit to ourselves that we've managed to qualify. I'm proud to sit here as the head coach of Scotland, leading them into a major tournament. That goes without saying. It's always difficult. I find picking a squad always difficult, and when we're in the camp, I always find picking the team difficult. And picking out in this instance, there'll always be 3 players who are going to miss out on the games in the actual tournament because you can only name 23. So I always find that part of the job difficult, but it's part of the job that I have to do.
You're quite a laid back guy, but now that it's a few weeks to go, you've named your squad. Just how excited are you about what Scotland can do in the weeks ahead?
Yeah, you know me, I'm not the type of guy that's going to be jumping up and down and shouting about things, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a long 6 or 7 weeks since we played the matches in March, the World Cup qualifiers, which I thought were some good performances. We look to build on that. We've got 2 friendly matches coming up where we can try 1 or two things that will hopefully help us in the tournament. But yeah, it's been a long wait since we qualified last November, so it'll be great when we finally get to kick off in the first game against the Czech Republic.
Steve, you talk about possibly tweaking things, trying things in the 2 friendly games. With the 3 youngsters, and obviously you've got James Forrest coming back as well for the first time in a couple of months, do you think this gives you more options than other squads previously?
No, I think I've always got options. I always try and pick the squad where I have good options. We obviously had a certain way of playing recently, and like I said before, I think losing Ryan Jack and Kenny McLean for the midfield positions will possibly mean that I have to change it a little bit. But that's something I'm looking forward to doing because I'm a coach.
In terms of the 2 players involved with the European fixtures, Billy Gilmore, Scott McTominay, are they joining up after you initially fly to Spain?
Yeah, the idea is that they'll join us later. It's obviously great that they're both going to be involved in a major European final. So the idea is that they'll both join us in Portugal, so when we get to Portugal, they can join us then. Unless, of course, they turn down that offer and want to join us earlier, which they're more than welcome to do.
As a manager, especially with the English players still playing in the Premier League, do you watch them kind of through your fingers? You don't want any more injuries?
Yeah, you get a little bit nervous watching the games. You see them getting subbed off, like a couple went off last night, and you're hoping that there's nothing serious, there's nothing happened. So good news for last night is nothing serious, nothing happened. So still a few more games to go. I'll watch the games. I hope that nobody else picks up an injury. But like I said before, anybody who thought they could be in the original squad, still matches to be played, so keep yourself fit and be ready.
Just finally, how is Ryan Fraser? We heard Steve Bruce say yesterday that it might be a bit of a risk to take him. Is he okay? Have you spoken to him?
Yeah, Ryan's fine. He's progressing well. Did well for me in the last camp, the March camp. It was good. And he's excited as well to be part of the squad and looking forward to the tournament. So I know what Steve is saying, but if it is a gamble and Steve thinks it's a gamble, then it's a gamble that I'm willing to take.
Is there an official standby list, as it were, Steve, beyond the couple you said?
No, I haven't done an official standby list. I have spoken to some players I've spoken to quite a few players just to say, but I'm using this as the platform as well to say keep yourself fit, because you never know. I don't know how big do you make a standby list because you've got so many positions to cover, so everyone has to stay fit and well.
There was a bit of a clamour, it seemed, for, obviously people like Lee Griffiths and Mom Shanklin are on our doorstep, we see them all the time, but there seemed to be a bit of a clamour for Ryan Gaul to be included. How closely did you look at him, and how close did he come to featuring?
Because of the restrictions, it was difficult to get to Portugal to watch Ryan, but fortunately you can watch everything on television these days, so plenty of chances to watch. Good player, had a good season for his club, although his club had a difficult season. But when you look at the area of the squad that Ryan's trying to get into, it's difficult to fit into that squad. He's an attacking midfield player, so John McGinn, Stuart Armstrong, David Turnbull's had a great season, so it was always going to be a difficult choice, and unfortunately for Ryan, he's missed out.
You're talking about tweaking the midfield and the loss of Jack and McLean. Does that make it more likely that Scott McTominay will feature as a midfielder? I guess it gives you great options.
like he did in the last camp as well, in the last games. It was only the last game where I put him into the back three against Faroe Islands because I felt we would dominate possession a lot in that game, and it was important to have Scott and Kieran on the ball at the back. So I think if you're looking at the squad I've got and the midfield players I've got, then it's pretty certain that Scott McTominay will be a midfield player for this campaign.
How important was it for Billy Gilmer that he's had a little clutch of games, big games recently? Would he have been in if he hadn't had that match sharpness?
It's important he had the games. I think it's always important that you play games. Would he have been in? Possibly, possibly not. I don't need to answer that question because he is in.
Does it concern you that Kevin Nisbet is the only player who is in double figures for goals at club level?
No, it doesn't. 3 games last month, 7 goals for the team. So there's goals in the team. We've got creativity in the teams. We've got midfield players that can score. Shea Adams is already off the mark. Lyndon Dykes got a couple of goals already. So I think 4 for Ryan Christie, 4 for Ryan Fraser, so 5 for James Forrest. So there's goals in the team. No worries.
Given the background of COVID and 1 or 2 events off the field in the last couple of days, do you feel a extra responsibility to deliver Scotland as the feel-good story of the season? Because that's what it's been so far.
Yeah, I think it has been a feel-good story, and it's great to be involved in the tournament. We want to go to the tournament. We want to be competitive. I think when the boys won the match in Serbia on penalties, everyone got a great lift. It was a fantastic feeling. All the boys became heroes overnight. I think if we can get out the group stages in the tournament in the summer, they can become legends. So why not aim for that?
You're going to have fans in as well, Steve. How big a boost will that be? Because the last time we spoke to you, you were unsure at that point.
Yeah, it's great. Even just watching the games on television now and seeing and hearing a little crowd in, the atmosphere, the passion, and I don't know if you watched the Chelsea game last night, but the little kerfuffle at the end, with the fans back, it's part and parcel of the game. It'll be great to have the Tartan Army here, not in full numbers, but they'll be in enough numbers, and I'm sure they'll be loud enough.
Okay, last couple.
Steve, how important is it that we do go there, not just to make up the numbers and try and get out the group for the first time?
I think it's always important to try and be as competitive as you can be. I think we've shown. I've always said I feel the group is growing in stature. The more caps they get, the more international experience they get, the more confidence they get with the results against the bigger and better teams, if you like. So hopefully we can go there in the summer and cause a few problems to the other teams in the group.
Steve, some players and some groups over the years have gone into big tournaments thinking they are making up the numbers. Do you feel that this particular group are going there to qualify?
We're going there with the intention to get out of the group, of course. There's no point in going if you're just going there to make up the numbers. We're going there to be as competitive as we can be, and if that gets us enough points to get out of the group and into the knockout stage, then, like I said before, the lads can become legends.
Okay, thank you all.
Thank you.
Good luck, Steve.
Thanks very much.